Hey Internet, this is Gunter with MiniMishaps Games, and today we are going to show you how to make temporary harnesses for your RPG miniatures. Okay, so you have seen lots of projects come through this channel on our upcoming Dragon Wagon. We've talked about repairing wagons, and we've talked about scale and spacing and all different kinds of things. And today we're going to be working on harnesses and making them so that they're temporary, so that you don't have to glue them down, because that adds a lot of anxiety to any person with miniatures if suddenly their donkey or their dragon has to permanently have a saddle or a harness or a tack and bard. So we are going to start off right into the first, and that first way of doing the temporary harnessing is by accidentally lucking into or finding miniatures that match the cart size. So here we've got a little toy donkey that we got in a bag from an antique store, and has nothing to do with the WizKids cart that we have, but as you can see, the front part of the cart is spaced out exactly in the way that the donkey works. So next up, options for temporary holding those animals in carts together is you can use, I've got that elastic there, as well as rubber bands. So that was when the cart was freestanding and it held up the donkey and helped the donkey stand. The donkey doesn't stand, if we may have to eventually put a base on it. But then we've got this cart that only has two wheels. It doesn't stand on its own, it tips. We also have spoilers for another upcoming project, which is our Squig for Squig Day. He's going to be our large creature here. And so same idea, when you have a two-legged creature and a two-legged cart, two-wheeled cart, if you buttress them close enough together, then they'll have that ability to stand bracing off of each other. The further they are apart, the harder it is to maintain that balance. And so if you do like that and keep them too far apart, you may want to then use rubber bands or put bases on either the miniature or the cart. Last but not least, we are going to do an optical illusion harness, which essentially means we're going to be taking this giant cart that we've been working on, and it's likely that I'll want to use this cart by itself because it is a pretty awesome goblin war buggy with all the assassin perches that we added to it. But in the encounter for my D&D group, it's going to be pulled by this dragon, which, if you needed to know, is actually mind swapped with a donkey. So it thinks it's a donkey and it thinks it's supposed to be pulling a wagon. But I want to use the dragon obviously later for other things, and I want to use the cart for other things later. So I am going to use rubber bands, and I'm going to take lengths of sprues, and I'm going to be moving them from the dragon to the cart and testing out different heights and placements on the dragon until I find one that works. So first thing is I pick out a couple of lengths of sprue that I think are the right size, and I've chosen one that also has a corner in it for a crossbar to go across the front of the dragon, because I think that will help hold the two together. So here I'm just laying out the distances for how far away from the wagon the dragon will be in the diorama. Got a couple of pieces that are going to work, although I realized pretty quickly that if I rubber band down these two pieces of sprue to the dragon at this, where they're going over the wing, they're just going to stick up out into the air. So I'm going to have to go below the wing instead, and along the kind of the top of the knees of the dragon. So I'm just going to, so for doing sprues like this, or if you're using wires or pipe cleaners or popsicle sticks, it's easiest to put the rubber band on the creature first, and then slide the sprues under the already in place rubber band. You got to be careful with sprues. It's pretty easy to have sharp edges and things that'll cut the rubber band. So as you can see, I've already at this point probably gone through 2 or 3 rubber bands. And I also picked a dragon that has sharp tail spikes, so I broke a rubber band on the tail of the dragon as well. So once all that's in place and you've got the rubber bands and you've got the sprues, then the simple proximity of the two is going to serve the function plenty. It'll avoid breakage, it'll allow you to use your pieces again later, but you want them to be disconnected so that the harness is essentially pointing off the dragon, and gives the impression, makes it look like it is connected to the goblin maul there, the war buggy. So this is, in the Gatherverse, there is a lot of subversion of expectation. There's a lot of trying to turn things on its head. So in this case, the dragon got mind swapped with a donkey, and a goblin got mind swapped with a giant. And so this giant's body has a goblin's brain in it, and there he's leading the dragon, who believes it's a donkey, and the cart that is the whole kind of enclave of goblins live in the giant's former cart, and they have built these kind of assassin perches into it. So this is a little preview for future. Actually, coming up this week, I think, is both our Squig Day, show off that Squig, and also the Dragon Wagon being completed. So watch for those. Those are going to be a lot of fun, and maybe even try and snag some footage at the D&D session with the completed project. So that is it for this video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching my video, and if you like what you saw, go ahead and subscribe, and you can support us on Patreon or buy me a coffee, and we will see you for the next video. Thanks, Internet.